We are near the end of an unconventional election, but as usual, the polls are becoming a bigger part of the story. The most recent CBS News national poll shows Hillary Clinton with a 9-point lead over Donald Trump. To put that into context, we examined 40 years of CBS News polls to look at other races 2 to 3 weeks before the election.
At this time, back in 1976, Jimmy Carter led Gerald Ford by 5 points. Now, that was nothing compared to Bill Clinton in 1992. His 17-point advantage over then-President George H.W. Bush dwarfs Hillary Clinton's margin. In 2000, George W. Bush led Al Gore by 2 points in our poll. That was a little more than 2 weeks before the closest election in modern American history. 8 years later, Barack Obama held a comfortable 13-point lead over John McCain.
CBS News elections director Anthony Salvanto is with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
So the point is the CBS News polls have been pretty accurate.
Yeah, we've done okay.
Done okay. Look, the Trump campaign put out a memo yesterday, in part to raise money. But in it, it said that if Trump wins New Hampshire, Colorado, or Pennsylvania, he could win the election, and that recent polls show him ahead in Iowa, Ohio, Maine, Florida, Nevada, and North Carolina. How does that memo square with the truth and some of the data we've seen out there?
No, he's down. He's down in most of those states, and he's down in the Electoral College overall, but that doesn't mean he's out. You know, the difference is voters in polls tell you what they're going to do, and we've seen that over history, over time. And right now, we find that Donald Trump's voters are willing to talk about voting for Donald Trump. They're proud of it, and they're telling that to pollsters. They say in the polls they're telling their friends and their family, so they're not shy about it. They're showing up. They're showing up in the polls. The other thing is, though, they say they think Donald Trump is talking about the issues and topics that he wants to talk about, not what they want to hear about. And that's changing Washington. That's the economy. That's a place you can go to try to turn.
Your point is there's no secret Trump vote out there that's not showing up in the polls.
No, there isn't. And even if you look at the early vote, let's say in Florida, for example, where 1 million ballots have already started to come in, you analyze that and you see that he doesn't have a lot of new vote coming in. Most of the folks who have turned in ballots have voted in past presidential elections. And one of the things they've talked about is rallying this new set of voters to come out and vote for him. That hasn't shown up yet.
When there is a change in the last 2 weeks, generally what happens and what causes it? Is it voters coming home to their natural political place? Yeah. Or is it some outside event?
Yeah, coming home is a big part of it here. You know, Donald Trump has been down with Republicans relative to how well Hillary Clinton has done with Democrats. She's got 9 in 10 Democrats. Even after the whole Bernie Sanders fight back and forth, she's rallied her base. He's still got this 20% of Republicans. I've called them the reluctant Republicans, largely women, largely suburban women. He is running about 10 points down in state after state, especially college-educated women, all of whom have been reluctant to come over to his side. If he can rally that base back to him, then he gets a lot closer.
There's so much talk, Anthony, of this race is over. Hillary Clinton has already won. Isn't there a danger in that for her team to become overconfident? And what can he do to turn it around?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that comes with the territory of being a pollster. Both sides want to think that you're wrong, right? Yeah. The losing side wants to say that you're wrong, but the winning side doesn't want their voters to be complacent. And when you look at the kind of voters Hillary Clinton needs, younger voters who say they're a little bit less likely to vote, they don't like really either candidate, that's a turnout issue, and she's still got, the Democrats are going to rely on that turnout.
Can he turn it around?
Yeah.
Can we talk about Texas? I mean,
sure.
Early voting has begun. What are we seeing there? You
know, Texas is a great story for exactly that kind of underperformance with college-educated white voters, with white men and white women. Now, Donald Trump is still winning them, but he's not winning them by the kind of margins that Republicans typically do, and that's made this race close. Do I think Hillary Clinton?
Latinos in Texas?
Oh, and Latinos who say that they are very motivated. In fact, literally that they can't wait to vote. So you get that part of the electorate, and they're all for Hillary.
Is it within the margin of error?
Well, it is, but I'm not sure that Hillary Clinton is positioned yet to outright win Texas. Yeah. I think that's about as close as it gets, but it's still, that closeness tells a story, Charlie.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I think that Texas stays Republican, but I do think it's interesting about how that state could trend purple in upcoming presidential elections.
Right, I mean,
start to tilt.
Like North Carolina did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
People thought that would
Texas girl and the North Carolina boy. Good to see you. Tomorrow, our Issues That Matter series looks at the Supreme Court under the next president. 2 famous lawyers, that's David Boies and Ted Olson, will be here at the table at Studio 57. That's great. They face off against each other in Bush versus Gore, the Supreme Court case that decided the 2000 election.